Hello, it's John Heaton, and today I'm going to show you some what I thought were quite exciting finds on Friday evening here in Budapest, just on a regular tour of my favourite record shops. And actually the owner of Vintage Records had emailed me saying, I've got some Apple stuff in, would you like to come and take a look? And my expectations were not particularly high, but I happened to be in town anyway, so I popped into his shop. And I'll go through in order of how I purchased them. So this is the first item I found, and I was absolutely delighted. This is a Yugoslav pressing of Material World from the time with the Yugoton logo there. And it's in good condition. It comes with the inner sleeve, virtually identical with the Yugoton logo there in the top right hand corner, and pretty unusual for Yugoslav pressings to include the extras actually. For example, I saw a copy of Walls and Bridges with the booklet was not there, so I was quite surprised to see the insert here, but pleasantly surprised. And then of course what makes this even more special is Yugoslav copy is on the green apple. And it's, you may have seen on one of my earlier videos that I showed this album on the German green apple, but this is the Yugoslav green apple, so distinctly less bright than the German apple, and it's got each country seems to have its own flavour of apple, pun not intended. So that's, I was really pleased to see. I didn't even know this existed. I knew that I've been after the German copy of Dark Horse on the green apple, but I didn't know, I hadn't researched the whole of the Yugoton catalogue to see what was on green apple, but it was really, that was a very pleasant surprise. So that, and then in the same shop I picked up a French copy of Abbey Road. Which is interesting for a few reasons. One, at the bottom here, you can see a tiny, I'll take it out of the sleeve, you can see a tiny bit of or quite a bit more of the sewer there on the bottom below John and Ringo's feet. If I compare it to, this is an Indian pressing where the sewer is not visible at all, and the UK pressing it is just about visible, but this is, I know it's trivia, but this has got quite a bit more of that sewer at the bottom. And what's also interesting, obviously it's on the French apple, which is great, is Oh Darling. I don't know if you can see that. Oh Darling on side one is called Oh Darlin without the G. And I'm not expecting you to see that because it's too small, but on the back as well, instead of the end, it says ending dash Her Majesty. So they didn't even get the name of the track right, which I thought was interesting. But it's in reasonable condition. It wasn't too expensive. I did notice the Indian pressing, which I showed you earlier, the Abbey Road Indian pressing, is on the sleeve of that, on the side too, it's got Carry That Weight, lists all the track, Carry That Weight, and then Her Majesty is next. It skips the end completely, and Her Majesty is in slightly bigger typeface. So they've obviously tried to add Her Majesty as a later date, so this cannot have been an original 69 pressing, but they've, in adding Her Majesty, they've deleted the end, which I thought was quite amusing. Anyway, this Indian copy is in not very good condition, and I was given this by one of the record shop owners, Lemus Kutsko. He just gave it to me because it was not in good shape. So that was the French Abbey Road, very happy to have that. Then I walked up the road to Kalos Records, which is a very good shop, which I discovered relatively recently. And the first thing I saw was a copy of the Ringo album, again, Yugoslav pressing, not expensive, and slightly different from the UK pressing because it's got darker red in the curtains there, and it's a slightly glossy cover, whereas the UK one is a lighter shade of red and not a glossy cover at all. Also, what's interesting is this is the gatefold, but there's no staples, so the booklet is nowhere to be seen on the gatefold, but happily it is inside here, in pretty much mint condition. So wonderful to see a Yugoslav copy from, I think it was 1974. I was looking up, and with the insert, which is not that common for a Yugoslav edition. So happy to have that. Then I stumbled across this copy of Let It Be, and you may have seen in one of my previous videos that we do have a lot of copies of Let It Be in the house between me and my two sons. I think we've got one from Australia, one from India, definitely got a US copy and a couple of UK copies. But this is a German copy, and what's interesting about this is it's got the red apple at the bottom there, but if you're expecting the album to be on the red apple, nope, it's on the lovely German green apple, which has probably been my favourite out of all the apples. So that's that, and it's a first pressing from 1970, and it's in pretty good nick. So that's another good addition to the collection. And then perhaps the most exciting purchase of the whole day is a Yugoslav press of the White Album. Now this is not the original 69 pressing of the White Album in Yugoslavia. It did come out in 69, but it's a 1979 pressing, I think. But on Discogs, from what I can see, it doesn't list that it comes with the extras, and this copy doesn't come with the poster, but it does come with the portraits. And what's interesting about these portraits is they're mirror images of the original portraits, so they're the wrong way around, if you like. So you'll recognize them, but you'll think that's a bit strange, something slightly different about that. And again with Paul, something slightly different, can't put your finger on it, but it's just basically a mirror image of the original, and these are just fantastic to have. And someone commented on my White Album white vinyl in Germany saying, "Oh, are the pictures mirror images?" And I said no, but then they were saying the French white vinyl did have mirror images, and so I was looking that up on Discogs, and yeah, it does have, that copy also has mirror images of the portrait. So anyone out there who owns another copy, which I haven't mentioned, with those in it, be interested to know. I'll just show them to you again, or I'll show you John again. It's just fantastic. I was so excited in the shop because the guy in the shop didn't recognize there was anything different. I pointed it out to him, and he goes, "How do you know?" And I said I compared it to the sleeve. And then, so this is on the Yugoslav apple, and just wonderful to see the White Album on Yugoslav, dark, kind of faded green apple. It's not, you can see the contrast, it's not as bright as the German apple, is it? There's something a bit foreboding about this apple. I don't know if it's a reflection of the communist society that they were living in at the time, but I just find it interesting that in Yugoslavia, even if it wasn't an original press, that you could have a copy of the White Album with the portraits in different format, you know, the mirror portraits, and this is the second disc. It's in beautiful condition. Whoever owned this record has looked after it extremely well. I haven't got round to playing it yet, but I will do. But this is probably mainly for my collection. So I bought a Russian White Album from 1991, which I showed you on a earlier video, which was not so exciting because it wasn't on Apple, and the pictures in the middle of the gatefold were kind of drawn. That was quite interesting, actually. They were drawn sketches as opposed to photographs. So I don't know if it was cheaper to do it that way, but or maybe it was even a bootleg, I'm not sure. But this was probably more exciting, definitely a more exciting purchase for me, because this is legitimate. Tracked it down, 1979 re-edition of the White Album. And any of you out there who own the original Yugoslav from '69. If you can tell me whether it came with the poster and the pictures, that would be interesting to know. I do have a poster upstairs, which a friend of mine from Serbia gave me years ago, which has the White Album pictures the wrong way around. So I wasn't completely unaware that this was a possibility, but I never thought I would see the actual portraits inside the White Album the wrong way around. So that rounds off my recent purchases. I returned home on Friday evening quite a happy chappy, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.